Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you could call me Grizzer, and this is where we'll get you caught up on some of the latest news and the tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL. That is, of course, the Cleveland Browns, and then we give you our take on the news along the way. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes, all of you who have subscribed to the channel, and everyone who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. Thank you so much. This show would not be possible without you. Speaking of the show, coming up on today's version of our little show, the Malik Willis to the Browns talk is heating up once again. But people really need to do their homework before they start popping off. The new stadium comes with an updated version of an iconic Cleveland landmark. We'll spend some time mocking mock drafts, and in the viewer comments, what they won't tell you about Shedeur Sanders' interceptions from last year. Oh, okay. But the first thing we got to talk about out of the gate here is this Malik Willis to the Browns nonsense, heating up once again. And it comes via a quote from Jason LaCanfora, who is with something called Sports Boom now. But okay, everybody, this is deep breath time again. This is not happening. We'll get to that in a second. But first, what LaCanfora said. He said, Green Bay backup Malik Willis is set to become a highly sought-after starting quarterback in the offseason. Teams, including the Steelers, Browns, and Dolphins, are interested. Speculation suggests a deal similar to Justin Fields could be on the cards. Favorite landing spot is the Cleveland Browns. His impressive performance against the Ravens caught the attention of several teams. Okay, a couple things to point out here. One, make it three things to point out. One, sought after starting quarterback. Two, Justin Fields' contract. Three, landing spot Browns. Okay. First of all, let's walk through this for you because starting quarterback, we already have one. We have a rookie who is on a rookie contract, Shedeur Sanders. Here's the thing. He's only the people who throw this out there are only doing it because they want the Shedeur Sanders fan base to react. This is all about clicks. That's all this is. To mention the Browns and Malik Willis in the same sentence makes absolutely no sense. And here's why. Sanders, he's cost controlled. He's on a rookie contract. He's already shown starter level snaps in 2025. He had seven starts. And Monken is optimistic on his growth. And let's not forget, Monken tried to recruit him to Georgia, draft him in Baltimore, and now he's got him. How about this? You know, Shedeur Sanders has made more NFL starts than Malik Willis. Willis has 6 career total starts. And his price tag is going to be steep. So they're not spending more money on a guy who has less experience in the NFL and is also smaller. He's not even as big as Shedeur. We haven't even gotten to the cap constraints yet because Watson's hit is going to be over $40 million. Whether they keep him or cut him, the Browns are on the hook for that cap space with Watson, who started his little workout. There was a video of him yesterday, another Uncle Rico video, which tells me nothing, but there's that. Now look at these are the projected numbers for the contract with the Justin Fields thing. It's on this list, and we'll get to that in a second. But Sport Track is saying Willis will command around $35 million a year, which is insane. This is how desperate teams are for quarterbacks. ESPN, they say about $26 million a year. This is the PFF numbers are what Justin Fields got. The Jets gave Justin Fields $40 million over 2 years, $30 million guaranteed, And I could have told you that was the stupidest thing in the world because Justin Fields cannot read a defense. He is not a good quarterback, and he's a Buckeye. And I've been saying that for years, ever since he came out. Dan Orlovsky taught me that back in his Ohio State days, that he cannot read a defense. And sure enough, he can't. The only thing that's good about his game is he can run with the ball. That's it. And then there's Orlovsky himself. Now, they're saying, like him and some of the other guys are saying, like in the $40 to $50 million range. But, I mean, that's over multiple couple of years, whatever. But it's like he could potentially command over 3 or 4 years, $100 million. Are you kidding me? Are you insane? To give Malik Willis $100 million? This is the kind of money because teams are so desperate for a quarterback. But the good news is we are not desperate for a quarterback. I mean, he's not a better option than Shedeur Sanders on a rookie deal. Shedeur, who's bigger, who has all of the same athletic skills, maybe even better than Malik Willis, more experience, and he has minimal cap hit. I mean, this is not happening. And when you have Watson down there in South Florida making his Uncle Rico videos, if you have him that you're already paying, your cap hit is over $40 million for that guy. So if he can prove that he can throw a football over the mountain, then he's your backup. Like, that is a much better scenario for the Browns. They're not going to have the Watson cap hit and then add to it with another high-priced quarterback who is completely unproven in my book. I mean, he only threw for like 300 yards last year. He had one good game. This is the Scott Mitchell syndrome, man. Back in Miami, we talked about this before. Like, this has got to stop. These people who are just looking for clicks by throwing Malik Willis's name in there with the Browns as a potential suitor have to stop, because it is never going to happen. Do your homework, look at the cap, crunch the numbers, compare the two athletes, and you will see, if you do your research and do your homework, that this is never, ever going to happen. So hopefully, this is the last time we have to mention Malik Willis's name on this show. So everybody rest easy. Shedeur Sanders, QB1, and Watson is trying to throw footballs over mountains and trying to become the backup. So that's where we're at right now. Now, something that we will continually mention on this show for, all the way through 2029 and beyond, is the new stadium. And today, we have pictures of the new dog pound. And wait until you hear, even if you're just here for Shedeur, you're going to be interested in this, because this stadium is going to be like nothing you see right now in the NFL. But take a look at this. Here is a picture of the new dog pound. And it's a steep layered seating bowl that the new stadium is going to have. It'll seat 67,500 people for football, but they can expand it to as many as 75,000 for events. So like if they add field seating and things like that. But listen to this. The stadium features the closest seats to the field in the NFL. So there will be no stadium on the planet that will get you closer to the field than the Browns' new stadium. It's been designed by HKS Architects. It's described as revolutionary and truly transformational for the NFL. They have a smaller upper deck. That's what they're also focusing on here. Here's another view of it. Here's a wide view of what it'll look like, and there's that. You can see how close the seats are to the field, but the smaller upper deck brings fans lower and closer to the field for better atmosphere and energy. And then check out the roof. It's a translucent roof for natural light. It creates that outdoor feel while protecting from the weather. And this is also, the stadium will also be first of its kind long span roofing system. without a traditional truss, which will improve sight lines. Remember, if you ever had to go to the old stadium and sit behind one of the poles? Remember that? Cleveland Municipal Stadium? Oh my gosh, those were the days, huh? When you bought a seat and you found out you were behind a pole. Yeah, that stunk. But this place, man, like the more I see of it, holy moly, the new stadium, the new dog pound, all of it, man. This is going to put Cleveland on the map. Maybe this will probably become the best stadium in sports once it's open. Groundbreaking March 2nd, but they're already doing the utility work out there. And that big empty lot across from my airport parking spot. That's where it's out there by the airport. And so where we park, we're literally like right across the street from it, where we park. So I'll get an update on it in a few weeks when I drive by there. But yeah, so it's already set to go. The groundbreaking March 2nd, and then 2029 is when the Browns will start playing there. But man, the new dog pound, an updated dog pound. I like that. I like that version of the dog pound. That looks more like the old dog pound, and like this dog pound in this current stadium. It was never the same, man. It just wasn't. So. Yeah, if nothing else, we're going to have a stadium that everybody will be talking about. Now, something else a lot of people like to talk about, especially this time of year as we're heading into the draft, are mock drafts. And I think mock drafts are a mockery. And what got me thinking about this, and I kind of mentioned this offhand a couple of times about my feelings on mock drafts, but we got this viewer comment. This is the viewer comment before we get to the viewer comments that got me thinking about this, because Jeff O'Donnell says, I saw a mock draft that had us taking an edge named Corley out of Texas Tech. Does that make sense to you? And first of all, they're probably talking about David Bailey. That's who the Texas Tech edge. And no, it makes absolutely no sense to me, because that's what mock drafts, the mock drafts are. They're pointless, they're meaningless, they're senseless, they're all the lesses. Think of any worthless, they're all, anything that ends in less, that's what a mock draft is to me. And take a look here. Here's why. The trades there are going to be so many things that happen between now and the end of the draft. And people go, oh, this team's going to take this guy. And then the team trades. You cannot, trades are impossible to predict. So you got that factor. Teams guard their intentions very closely. Now, the leaks that come out there, like, oh, the Jets are interested in this guy. That comes from the agents. All the agents are trying to do, it may not even be true. All they're trying to do is generate interest in their client and keep their client's name in the news. They want people talking about it. So you're going to hear things like, oh, Tennessee wants Carnell Tate, because maybe Tennessee doesn't even care about Carnell Tate, but the agent leaks it out. And then this way now, the Browns are thinking, oh, we got to trade up, or we got to do this or something. There's a lot of, it is crazy season. That's why mock drafts are pointless. Player evaluations and stock change rapidly. I mean, you hit the combine, and then they come out of the combine and stock drops, stock goes up. It's especially this time of year, to try to do mock drafts is just ridiculous. And then, team needs and internal boards often differ from public perception. I mean, look at Shedeur last year. Everybody thought he was going to be a second pick in the draft. Ends up falling to the 5th round. So mock drafts for me, man, mock drafts do nothing for me. I don't look at them. What I do is this, and this is what I've been trying to do on the show. I'll go ahead and put together names of people, different positions, different whatever it is, like we did the other day with the offensive line, the wide receivers. Here's who I like. Here's who I would like to see, and then look at where they're projected to go to see if we even have a shot. Now, just because they're projected to go in from 20 to 30. There could be somebody that really wants them, and they take them at 17. So for me to waste time doing a mock draft, I go, oh, at 6 the Browns will take Carnell Tate. Oh, and then at 24 they'll take Lomu. It's just stupid, because by then draft day comes, Lomu's gone, Tate was gone, and the whole thing, we end up with Boston and Fano. It's so dumb to try and predict draft picks to me. It is. I have no time for it. But I will make time to look at the prospects and try to educate myself. And then hopefully, we all get educated together on who these guys are. And I'll give you my opinion of why I think they fit with the Browns and if we, have an actual shot at getting them. And then when you're watching the draft, you can say, oh, that was that guy. There's that Boston guy. Crap. They, look, Tennessee took him. Whatever. At least But I'm not going to sit here and try to guess. The draft is in Pittsburgh this year. So if you're in Cleveland, you want to go. We had the draft here a couple years. We went. It was awesome. We got 2 picks in the first round, man. It might be worth going to Pittsburgh and watching it. But it starts April 23rd. ESPN, they're already doing a daily NFL draft show. That's how this is big business, baby. The draft is big business. And so no, we will not be doing mock drafts ever, but we will be doing something. I'm going to do some sleeper wide receiver potential picks for later rounds for us. Got that on. And again, viewer comment, you guys say stuff and I'm like, it just gets me thinking. And sometimes it has nothing to do with the viewer comment. It just sends me down this road and I say, I can make something out of that. So that's what I do. I don't know. I just feel like if I think it's kind of interesting, I'm hoping you will too. But mock drafts, I don't think are interesting. Mock drafts are a mockery. I can't with mock drafts. I can't. I never could. I never will. So there you go. Mock drafts are a mockery. What's never a mockery, of course, are the viewer comments. And we will start today with TD Mayday, who says, Grizzer, please mention this fact on your show. In his first NFL season in 2025, Shedeur Sanders threw a total of 10 interceptions. While advanced charting, specifically isolating interceptions off receivers' hands, is not a standard public box score metric, analysis of his performance indicates that 15 of his plays were classified as turnover worthy by Pro Football Focus, suggesting some of his 10 interceptions may have resulted from factors other than purely poor quarterback decision-making, such as receiver error or defensive tips. And TD Mayday, this is what we teased at the top. That's what we mean. Like everybody, the other thing with the interception, remember I said, Sam Darnold led the league in turnovers, and he just won the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. So turnovers are not the end-all, be-all. And then you really have to get granular on how the turnover happened, right? And so we already know Judy is responsible for one of those interceptions for sure. Bounced right in his hands it to the defensive back. Judkins, partially responsible for the other one. But the ball was, it's a running back who's turning around and the ball's on him, hits him in the hip, flies up in the air. And then there's a couple tip balls in there too. So you could argue Sanders really if you want to, you could say 8, 7, maybe even 6 were on him. So, it's like, God, that's all the haters can do. They try to bring that up and it just doesn't make any sense. Great info. TD Mayday. Appreciate it, man. Rice Beans 24. Great handle. Not the reason, though. Well, part of the reason I picked this one. But Rice Beans 24 says, Dave, it sucks that Shedeur is going to have to learn a new offense with new plays. And, yeah, you're right. I talked about this, Rice Beans. That's one of my worst fears for Shedeur, having to keep going through a number of offensive coordinators, over and over and over. That was part of my argument for, get Stefanski out of here. And if you keep Reese, then you can, you at least have the play caller and an offensive coordinator who Shedeur is familiar with. So it keeps that learning curve to a minimum. But that's not the case. And so, yeah, he's going to have to learn. That's why I think it's vital for us to try and sign Linderbaum and or likely to get him in here to help these guys, learn it. They can take what Monken is saying and help translate for the entire offense, not just Shedeur. So I'm really hoping, we can get some of these players in here. And that's why it's important to have all these Baltimore coaches, too. They can help with the learning curve as well. YouTube hates truth tellers. 8065. I love that handle. The only news I want to hear is Jerry Judas and friends are out of town. Jerry Judas is that's a good nickname. Here's the thing about Judy. I honestly feel like with this, it's like he's like back on a new team with this new offense, new coach, new philosophy, new everything. I think he will have a bounce back season. I do. Now, if you are going to trade him, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to sign somebody like Romeo Doubs, like we talked about, or if you can fit Alec Pierce under the cap. If you sign somebody like that to replace him, then trade him away, that's going to be your only option. I mean, his contract is not horrible. You might get somebody who's willing to take a chance on him, but we'll talk a little bit more about this on another show, but I really feel like Jerry Jeudy could be poised for a bounce back year with all of that stuff that was going on last year with Stefanski and the offense and the fake injuries and who knows, is he hurt, is he not hurt, is it performance and all this other nonsense, man. He seemed pretty frustrated all year. And so if we don't let him go, I'm hoping everybody can bear with me on this. I think we can lean in to him having a bounce back year. If not, if we trade him, we got to sign Dobbs or Pierce or somebody to replace him. Zach Sparks, 614, says, Tate is absolutely a wide receiver one. If he's available at 6 and Cleveland passes, I'm going to lose it. I talked to General Manager Jeff about this, and he says, yes, got to get Tate at 6. So General Manager Jeff is on board. And so, he agrees with me on Tyson because Tyson gets hurt all the time. So hurt in college, hurt in the pros. That's what General Manager Jeff always says. And no, Zach, I'm with you, man. I think he's always been with, another top tier receiver. That's why people think like, he's not as good. But just like Jackson Smith and the Jigba, man, I think it's the same thing. But that guy catches everything, man. And he's bigger. He's 6'3". Like, he checks all my boxes. I'm the queen. I love this handle. I'm the queen. The Thee, the queen. The whole storyline about Shedeur to make the Super Bowl next year will be a blockbuster. I'm thinking that the NFL is driving this narrative to the bank. That's what I'm saying. Like we start the show with all this Malik Willis nonsense, man. It's not happening, man. The NFL knows what. Look at the Browns' social media. Just take a look. You can't go without seeing Shedeur. You can't go twice without seeing Shedeur. I mean, come on, people. God, these insiders who they gotta stop, man. They just do not know what they're talking about. We'll end today where we ended yesterday with Michelle Barnes, 575, who coached me up. I thought I got a promotion to general manager whenever she starts a lot of her comments with GM Grizz. I've come to find out, and it's more proof to you how big of a dope I am, because GM actually means good morning. So she always writes in the morning, and she tells me good morning. And I thought she was calling me GM. And I said, I'm not the GM. My brother's the GM. General Manager Jeff would be the GM. I would be happy to be one. I'd be on his staff or something. Like I said, I could get coffee. With my intellectual level, I'm good for like getting coffee and going to pick up his laundry, stuff like that. That's what I would do for General Manager Jeff. But GM means good morning. That's what you're dealing with here, folks. You're also talking to the guy who will watch a complete movie and then get to the end of it, look at his wife and go, I think we've seen that before. It's happened. And it happens way more often now than it used to. So I just want to let you know that is what you're dealing with. All right. Thanks for joining us. We're still on the defensive coordinator watch. What's going on there? I think that's going to happen very, very soon if it hasn't happened already. All right. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.